You know, it seems the more people you try to reach, the more people are resistant to what you're trying to teach them. And I know that's specifically true on YouTube. I know that I put a lot of work into making these videos. I think they're mostly entertaining and primarily my opinion. However, I've gotten some pretty good feedback on it. So we'll continue on until I run out of knives, or I get bored, or you completely get bored. Now, you guys know that I'm a custom knife maker. You've been watching the channel. I even plugged a couple of my knives. And the comments that I've been getting are mostly that my knives, or the knives that I had purchased in the past, are way too expensive for them. Now, I understand. I've said this before, that over the last 40 plus years, it took me a long time to collect all these knives. Before I was a knife maker, I was a knife collector, obviously. I started my blade fascination when I was in the Cub Scouts, probably around 12 years old, when I got that first Cub Scout knife, and I learned that locking blades are better than non-locking blades a couple stitches later. I've learned that throughout my life as a grown man, or as a teenager into a grown man. I realized that in the military, a bladed item such as a knife, a machete, is probably one of your primary tools, alright, for a lot of reasons, other than your firearm, of course. I've learned that while I've gone camping, when I've gone hunting, an axe is also a good thing to carry. A saw is even easier. So throughout my experience, I've been trying to teach what I have learned to all of you guys. And I know there's differences of opinions, and there's difference of locations, difference of experiences. I get it. So I got trolled today, and I blocked him because, you know, it was just, you know, mom's basement kind of stuff, rambling, crapping all over everything, and it just looked like a mess. Which is fine, because I thrive in chaos, and all my Marines out there, Semper Fi, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We thrive in chaos. So, what I'm going to attempt to do today is to show you guys that although you might not have a lot of money, and I could tell you that, again, I didn't buy all these knives overnight. I did not. It took me years to buy all these knives. There are some options out there that are under $100. So welcome again to the Summer of Knives 2017 under $100 knife. This is it. So if you guys are looking for choppers or medium-sized knives, this is kind of where I am, or where I feel comfortable in the purchases that I made. There are many blades here that are under $50, under $20. Okay, those blades, they might work for you. Some of them may not. My experience has taught me that you can't do everything with one blade. A nice big blade, a nice small blade, and then maybe, or you know, a belt knife I should say, and then maybe a folding knife or a saw or an axe, that kind of thing. So, you know, and I'll do my 3-blade option video after this one. So let's start looking at some of the knives that we got here. The first one I'm going to talk about is Mora knives. Now, Mora knives are excellent blades, and I've always said that if you carry a Mora for bushcraft and small tasks, you will do fine. I don't think they're particularly made for large chopping tasks, but hey, I know there's guys out there that would rather carry 3 or 4 Mora knives than any of the big blades you see on this table. And I gotta say, hey, God bless you. You know, that's your opinion, that's how you feel. Great, no problems here. Alright guys, so let's get into the blades. I should say that all the blades here, I got the prices off of Amazon.com. I did purchase all these knives from Amazon.com. If you are not a Prime member, you might have to pay for shipping, but the base price is what I pulled off of Amazon. Okay, so I'll say that. Let's go with the first one, is the Mora Companion, probably the most widely purchased knife that you can find out there. This is an excellent knife. The handle on here is awesome. It's super comfy, and this one is made in carbon steel. This one goes for $13.80. It's under $20. I know there's guys on YouTube that would rather carry 2 or 3 Mora Companions than any of the knives on this table, and I can see why. Again, for me, a Mora is a lightweight belt knife. It's not made for all the heavier tasks, mostly because It is a stick tang, and it usually just goes up to here. It's not even a full tang knife. But again, if you're a Mora guy, I'm never going to be able to talk you out of it. The more Mora, the better. And listen, for $13.80, that's an awesome knife. The next one is the Light My Fire. The Light My Fire, again, got into the Mora game, and really all this is they put a fire steel at the end of the knife, which I'm a huge fan. I think that's really smart. Again, really comfortable blade. They make them in orange, they make them in blue, and they also make them in pink. The Light My Fires go for $27.59. All right, that's still awesome price. The next Mora I'm going to talk about is the Classic. I love this knife simply for its classic and collectability. I know there's a lot of guys on YouTube and survival experts that this is the knife for them. They don't need anything more. This knife costs $15.72. Super lightweight, super thin. You might have to flatten the back out if you wanted to do some type of sparks, or I should say fire seam rod, that kind of thing. But I mean, this thing is super light, and for that price you can't beat it. Alright, so I'm going to talk about my Mora Black. The Mora Black is $37.55. This is the heavy dutier, stout, thicker blade, and there is a lot of guys that love this blade, and I do too. Again, for me, because it's not a full tang knife, I find it more useful in a maybe a companion knife or something that's you know, goes with one of the larger knives. So I would definitely carry two knives on this blade. But again, great price. Now the next one is the Mora Bushcrafter, and all they did was they took the Mora Black, as you can see there, same exact knife, same exact sheath, but what they did is they added a fire steel and a sharpening stone to it, and I think that's pretty damn smart. The sheath fits very well. It does have this dangler piece up here, which again I'm not a huge fan of because this plastic can break, and if it breaks off, these knives are very, very lightweight. You probably won't feel it and you might lose it. But again, great on you, Mora. This is $68.99, so it's 70 bucks for the Bushcrafter, and the Black is $37.55. So I almost would go with just this, because if I'm going to spend close to $70, I'm probably going to wind up buying one of these other bigger knives. Alright, so that's it for the Mora. Let's go into Condor a little bit. Condor I'm always a big fan of. Condor, this is I don't have the Bushcrafter knife, but it's around the same price. This is the Condor Kephart. Alright, really nice thin blade, great for, you know, any type of really quick work that you need to do. Comes with a nice leather sheath. This one is $43.18 on Amazon, and you can see really thin profile, excellent leather sheath. Of course, Condor is really nice. They really do a good job on that. Alright, so we're gonna go with the Heavy Kukri, $79.48. If you're looking for a chopping blade, look no further. If you're a Kukri guy, look no further. This is a huge chopping blade, and it's less than $80. Alright, maybe the steel is $10.75. It's probably not $10.95, but this chunk of steel, swinging into the woods, you pair it up with one of the Mora knives, and you are good to go. You are on your way. Excellent leather sheath. Excellent. Let's talk about another chopping blade here. This is the Village Parang, $80.73. $80.73. Alright, I mean, this thing is just built for chopping. It's a huge blade. It's lighter than some of the other blades that you're going to see here because it has this nice balance point. But I mean, come on, for $80 all day long, no problem. The next knife I've been boasting about a lot, and I'm a big fan of it. This is the Artec 2, not to be confused with the Junglis or Hunglis. This knife right here is a big chopping beast. I love this knife. They make them in different colors or different different powder coats. So if you wanted to swap these out, you can. Artec 2, Randall. I mean, this is $10.95. huge blade, and it's $90.14. I mean, come on, you're not going to get anything better than that. This is a great price for a great blade. Yeah, okay, the sheath is, it is what it is. It snaps closed, and again, I don't like these Condora sheaths, but you could also make a Kydex sheath and make it worth your while. Now the next blade I'm really impressed with is the Ontario Bowie. I would get one of these for every single person in my bug out bag, because when you know the price on this, you're going to blow your mind. Alright, this is the Spec Plus Raider Bowie. Okay, I think it says, what does it say? Yeah, Ontario, USA. Look how big this freaking knife is. The ergonomics on here are awesome. The ergos on here are outstanding. They're really comfortable. Has a really nice guard. I mean, this blade right here for the Ontario Bowie is $41.99. Buy two of them. Are you kidding me? I would put this in every single bug out bag that I had. This thing is a huge knife. It's good for processing. Obviously, you know, if you need it for self-defense, you could. But man, what a great price. It's not even 50 bucks. Alright, so I get it. The sheath is really crappy, and I complained about these sheaths before. But for the other 40 bucks, you know what you can do? You can look on YouTube or in the forums and get yourself a sheath made for one of these knives. Alright, excellent, excellent blade. Alright, let's talk about the Ka-Bar Cutlass. Again, great blade, lightweight. I mean, yeah, okay, it's made in Taiwan, but for a chopper or a thin machete, this thing is awesome. It has a nice belly on it. This thing is coming in at $48.99. 48 bucks 99 cents, and you can chop all day with this. The ergos on this are great. Excellent blade overall. I really can't believe they're going for that price. Again, if you're looking for a cheap blade or an affordable blade, you can buy both of these blades for under 100 bucks. So buy both of them. That's what I would do. Alright, let's talk about some more common ones. The Becker BK2, $65.41. Now, if you want a pry bar for a belt knife, this is it. The Becker BK2. Excellent. I think it's 1/4 of an inch thick. You can do a lot of stuff with this. I mean, I'm not even going to go into it. I know these are very popular. A lot of people seem to like them and use them, and if you don't mind the weight, it's good to go. Again, really great on this. $65.41. Come on, that's awesome. Awesome price. Let's say you want to go a little bigger, and I know a lot of guys do. So do a lot of girls. So anyway, so I would go with the BK9. The BK9 is $89.99. $89.99 for something that is truly tested for a very comfortable knife, for something that's this large. I mean, come on, it's the 9-inch blade. I mean, you're really not going to get any better than that. It's just phenomenal, and the steel is excellent. The sheath is okay. I wouldn't like brag all about it, but really good work on you. Alright, so let's say you want to go a little more traditional. I've raved about this before. This is the USMC Ka-Bar. They also have the Army Ka-Bar, the Air Force Ka-Bar. Everybody has a Ka-Bar. But like I said, if you're going to purchase a Ka-Bar that is not China made, that is US produced, alright, it says USMC on there. And there you go, Orleans, New York, Ka-Bar Company. You're looking at a traditional Ka-Bar, $69.97. So like I said before, 70 bucks. You can buy it in your post exchange if you are in the military. It is tax free, but if you're looking for something traditional, you really can't beat the Ka-Bar knife. Alright, there are many versions of this, but what I would suggest you do is make sure you get the right one, because I know there's a lot of China knockoffs. If you're looking for another knife that's a fighting knife, this is the LMF2. This is made by Gerber. I'm not a huge fan of Gerber products, but this one kind of came out pretty decent. I don't think this is a full tang knife. You could use it as a spear, a breaker, all kinds of knife options on here, and the sheath is pretty good. You pretty much, when you put that knife in there, alright, it's not coming out. It has a sharpener through here, multiple latching equipment, which I'm a big fan of. I got a Fire Steel in there right now, but Man, if you're looking for a cheap option for a fighting knife, a combat fighting knife, you're really not going to go wrong with this knife. This one comes in at $83.35, and of course they come in different colors. So if you don't want tan, you can get OD green or black or something like that. If you are a hunter, I highly suggest this knife if you really just want a hunting knife or something that's good for processing game. Buck's been selling this model for a while. It is the Buck 119 or Buck 119. The price on this is $51.30. So that's really not bad. I mean, you get a really nice, well-made hunting knife. And when I say by hunting knife, I really mean hunting knife. This, if you try to do anything with wood or anything like that, you will destroy this knife. It's a hollow ground knife, very thin point. The handle is excellent for, you know, for the grippiness, highly polished. Leather sheath is outstanding, and good on you, Buck. They've been making this knife for years. You can even get the classic editions that have the wood scales and all kinds of great stuff. But the Buck 119 I'm a big fan of, and like I said, for $51.30, that's not so bad. Alright, the next knife I rave about all the time is the SRK, and I know a lot of guys will talk about this. This is the SRK made in AUS 8. There are different versions of this. This knife is pretty much the soldier's knife. If you're not going to get a K-bar, get this. This is a great knife. Like I said, it's stainless steel. You can also get them in carbon steel, VG10, and I think S30V now. I don't know. They keep making this knife because it sells so well, and people keep telling Cold Steel to, you know, make it in this steel, make it at that steel, and they have special editions. This one right here, as is selling for $71.99 on Amazon. So this is the cheapest one you're going to get. This one or the carbon steel will probably run around the same price. If you go for the specialty steels, it's going to be more money. The sheath is pretty simple. Secure-X. It doesn't have any type of friction there, but it does come with the belt clip, so, or the belt strap, so that's pretty good. It'll stay in there. Now I threw this one in there because I don't think I've showed you guys this, but this is the Cold Steel Bushman, and it's going to blow your mind. So this is the spear option. So I know a lot of people do a lot of videos on this, and believe it or not, this thing holds up really, really well. Now, it's probably not as comfortable or as elaborate as all the other blades here. It's just a hollowed out handle, and I know some guys, what they do is they fill this up with survival gear. It has a hole in it, so if you wanted to put a screw in there, you can attach it to a stick and actually make it a spear. Survival knife, yeah, probably. It's super lightweight. I think that you can use this to your advantage. A lot of people complain that because this is such a round handle, it'll twist in their hand, and what they do is put some type of tape on here. You know, hey, to each his own, but honestly, for the price, $21.59. You can buy as many of these as you want. You can buy $100 worth, buy 4 of them, put them in every single bug out bag, and then go spear you know, Porky Pig or go spearfishing or whatever the case is. I will say that the sheath is it's alright, it works. It is kind of put together on the cheap, but I think, like I said, for what you're paying for Cold Steel, it's not bad. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it. That's my wrap up for the knives under $100 that I would definitely use in the field. Any of the knives that you see here on the table I have used at one time and have carried at one time. I think that you know, if you're really so concerned about money, you can go with any one of these options. It's really not that hard. Some of them are even under $20. So if you, who doesn't have $20 somewhere lying around? Go get yourself a Mora. You can get one of those, or you can get a spear knife or something like that. Anything from choppers to belt knives to fighting knives to hunting knives. I wanted to make sure I gave you guys a very good option. So put the comments down below, guys. I really appreciate the I really appreciate it. And if you get a chance, please go up to threeriverblades.com. I know it doesn't fit everybody's price range, but you do me a favor when you go up there and at least take a look at what I have. You know, I know a lot of people come to me and they say, oh, I really like this, but wow, it's like $300 or $400. Yeah, it's that price because I make it myself. All the blades here are pretty much stamped out, laser jet, and kind of, CNC'd and put together overseas, not all of them, but some of them, and they have large milling process plants. I have to do everything, so it adds to the time, which of course adds to the costs. You wouldn't be, I would never steer you wrong on any of the blades on here, and of course, as a knife maker myself, I need to be able to trust the steel and the knife with my life, and I would do that with any of these blades, and of course with my own steel. So thank you very much, guys. I hope you appreciate the series. It's been getting good reviews so far, so thank you very much, guys. Keep me motivated. I'll keep you motivated. Stay safe out there. Talk to you soon. Bye.